Gary, cold open question.
Yes.
What is the best compliment you ever received? And now, mind you, this is a family program.
Yes. Okay. I mean, I've been told "good job" many a times at all my
That a boy.
all my jobs that I've had. So I mean, like great job on this spreadsheet or
Great job.
things like that. I mean, yeah, I've been complimented a few times, work related. It would be family friendly anyway because.
Is there like a personal compliment you've received before that's
not that I could remember. I mean,
I remember one lady told me I had kind eyes.
Okay. That's nice.
And at the bingo recently, everyone tells me I should be in broadcasting. I should be on the radio, they tell me.
Oh, well, see?
So I'm trying to do my part.
Perfect. Perfection.
Tonight on the Brian Lennon Show, we'll catch up with what we did over the weekend. We'll talk inflation and shrinkflation, the NFL, Beyonce,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sweet.
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you. It was awfully quiet there for a moment.
Oh, I've been talking for a couple minutes now.
All right. Now, Gary, I'm going to warn our listeners and viewers to the Brian Lennon Show that we may be discussing some sensitive topics and some sensitive language tonight for what I have planned to discuss. So if you're easily triggered or overly woke, you may want to
fast forward a little bit.
Stop now. But we'll get to that first. We'll get to that eventually. So I kind of had an eventful weekend, Gary.
Oh, yeah? Me too.
So Friday, I went to go see Buck Cherry.
I seen that.
The 90s, late 90s, early 2000s rock band.
It's fantastic.
Fun show. We went to Penn's Peak, which is in Jim Thorpe, so it's about an hour away.
Okay, I've been down that way.
I was looking forward to people.
Hold on. You're muted a little bit. I can't hear you. Your mic kicked out. I can't hear you. Oh, there we go. I can hear you now.
Are you not able to hear me?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay. And when you're talking to me, I can't hear you.
So, something's got to be interfering with
wacky
with the internet every once in a while here, because like I'm speaking and I'm going through and I can hear myself going, but then I don't hear you at all.
Yeah, same here. Quick question, Gary. I got to ask for people who are watching on the YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. It looks like you're in the city or something. You have this background with lights. Where are you? You're not in Jupiter, are you?
No, I'm on my back porch. That's just my sliding glass door, and it's all my lights in my.
You have Christmas lights
so
inside.
I have like gotcha. That. Well, no, the Christmas lights are here. I have the shades in the window. Those lights are up on my. Well, here, let's see if I can flip you around like this.
That's what I'm saying. You have Christmas lights.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have Christmas lights.
Outside, yes.
Or August.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
It just looks exotic tonight.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's the way I set myself up tonight. I'm more kind of angled at the other night. I think I had it to my right of me now. So
okay.
But I'm back on the table today.
Gary, tonight I'm drinking a Sam Adams porch rocker.
Yeah, nice.
Lemon Radler.
I was going to bring those out. I am drinking what I purchased over the weekend. Local. Big Storm. Can we get in there? Big Storm vodka sodas.
Ooh.
There's a blackberry, a lemon lime, and a peach.
And that's, how many are you drinking, Gary? What number are you on?
Well, this is only one.
Okay.
But I do have 5 more. So they go down very easy.
All right. I think I might like that with the vodka because I like vodka. So anyway, back to the original story.
Yes.
So Buck Cherry. So it's like
Okay. Oh, there you go. as soon as you start telling the story, you just completely go out, and I'm like,
maybe we should just move on. I'm talking, and you're just standing there like a dunce.
Staring.
I'm like, you can't hear me.
Am I reading? I'm trying to read the lips. I'm like, I was like, I don't understand it. It's so weird. As soon as you start telling the story, it just completely goes out.
So anyway, can you hear me?
Yes, you're frozen, but I can hear you.
You're frozen too. Anyway,
it's probably my kid sucking up all the
too
Wi-Fi.
hot.
Because he's in there playing all the stupid video games and crap. And then the wife's watching something on her phone. Ugh.
So we get there. We decide to go out like the back door of the hall. It's a beautiful view of the Lehigh River and mountains and stuff. And it's, filled in because it's the summer. And there's a giant rainbow, which actually like got darker while we were there. Like it filled in.
Okay.
Like it was faint at first, but then it like really came to life, and it was like just all over the huge valley.
Oh, wow. All right.
And it was funny because everyone who came out was like, "Oh, rainbow. Look at the rain." Like every 10 seconds, someone was coming out of the door and going, "Oh, look, a rainbow." It was like they'd never seen a rainbow before.
Okay.
So, Penn's Peak, this is the second show I've been at down there. So I went to see Stone Temple Pilots in November. That was like an older crowd. I'm probably toward the younger end of the spectrum for that show.
Okay.
I mean, I went with guys who were in their 20s, but, for the majority, they're old. Most of the people were probably as my age or older. So this Buck Cherry concert, I wasn't sure like what the demographic would be.
Yeah.
It was older people by a lot.
Okay.
And it's always interesting to see. So we were out on the back porch where you could smoke. I haven't had a cigarette in 20 years. So, but everyone out there except for me and Jill probably were smoking and looking at the rainbow. And it was funny to see. There was like two.
It went out again. Oh, now we're frozen again. Oh, wait, come on, you can do it.
It's unstable. You can't hear me.
I can hear you now.
Now you can hear me.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was just fun to like picture, like, I wonder what they actually looked like 25, 30 years ago, like when they were in their prime.
Yep.
So, so that was Friday. Saturday, I got out golfing with our old classmate, John Radzikowski.
Okay.
We went to Red Maples up in Waymart. It's a 9-hole course, but we played it twice to play 18.
Yeah. I
hit my driver pretty well.
That's good.
Something just fell in the kitchen.
Someone fell over.
Yeah. And then my short game was the usual crap fest. And then Saturday night was SummerSlam. Did you watch or see any highlights from SummerSlam?
No. I'll get to my Saturday in a little bit.
Okay. Enough said. And then Sunday we decided to head to the state park at Promised Land.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
yeah, no, well, we'll go. I'll start Thursday. So Thursday we did
4-day weekend.
Thursday we did a live Distracted Dads podcast from Soggy Bottom Brewery. I thought it went pretty well.
I listened to that. I
So
think most of it.
but yeah, we didn't do. We actually ended up doing 2 that day because as soon as we ended the one, this one guy showed up that we were going to want to have on. So we ended up doing a second episode, I guess you could say, in the same day. So I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed doing it that way. And then Friday we didn't do anything Friday. We were going to go out, but then I was like, you know what? Let's just stay home tonight. So just caught up on some shows, and Saturday was the big day. We Big Storm, what I'm drinking tonight, they had their 10-year anniversary on Saturday. So we went over there and got there about 11. I think we left about 8:30. So
wait, you got there at 10:30?
No, 11.
11 in the morning.
Yeah, 11 in the morning it started. So we got there at 11 and we stayed till about 8:30. So we just kept on drinking. So Saturday, by the time I got home at about something to 9, we just basically went right to bed. We were done. It was a long day of drinking. So, and I was drinking all these vodka soda seltzers things. So I was like,
so do you eat like lunch and dinner there?
So what
are you eating over the course of the day?
So we did. They have food there. So we ate. I had their Cuban sandwich, and I mean that thing is huge. So just eating that one time helped me the rest of the night because I couldn't even put another thing in besides the liquid. But yeah, so we hung out there most of the time because then we had our Paul and his wife and one son showed up, so they hung out for a little bit. And then our other buddy John, he came a little bit later, so we're like, oh, we'll stick around, wait for him to get here. So he came and had a couple drinks, and then we just sat there. And I ended up buying a bunch of stuff because they had buy one get one on all of their packaged stuff. So besides the beer they make, they started getting into distillery too. So they started making vodkas, rums, whiskeys, things like that. Because now besides their own beer, they also serve like mixed drinks of their stuff that they have. So they have things like already pre-made and on tap. So they tap the stuff. So but some of that stuff was really good. But yeah, then they had prizes and everything. So I mean, it was a good day. So we did that. And then Sunday we didn't really do anything either. We were supposed to go to the brewery right by here, Wrap. They were doing their customer appreciation. And you have a card. Once you get 10 beers, you get a free one. But when you have a full card filled out, you bring it and you get all your beers half price on those days. But we were kind of like, yeah, I don't know if we should be drinking again.
You don't know. Yeah.
So we were just kind of, but yeah, that was my weekend.
Now, what's the clientele at these breweries? Because I know you go to a lot of breweries. Is it like an older crowd? Is it a younger crowd?
Depends on which ones you're going to. So like when we go up to Wrap, it seems like it's more of an older crowd kind of that rolls in there. Big Storm is a mix because they're kind of spreading out now. They've got like 4 or 5 locations in Florida right now. So when you go to downtown St. Pete, a lot of those breweries, you see more of a younger crowd that are kind of rolling in there. It's usually like the older.
Are people there to drink? Oh, yeah. Are they like beer snobs, or are they more like there to have a good time?
So you have,
or is it just depends on which group you're looking at?
Yeah. So you have your ones that are like either they're like, say, like we'll go downtown St. Pete. So there's a ton of breweries down there, but then there's also a ton of different bars. So you'll get a lot of like the locals that only go to a specific brewery. That's their brewery and that's the one they go to and that's it. It's like your local dive bar, that's the place they go all the time. They only drink their beers and that's it. And then you get the ones,
your Bud's Bar.
Yes. Yeah. And then you got like them, but then down there you also have groups coming in that are bachelorette parties, like they'll come strolling through because they're doing like the tour of downtown or whatever. They're just hitting up every bar and brewery, whatever they can find. So I mean, it's a very mixed crowd. Like I said, when like a rap, if you go up there, like we've been going there like almost every Friday now, last couple months. So if I go in there on a Friday, a lot of times I'll recognize people that I see in there almost every other Friday. So it's like they're just. So it's
You're like Norm from Cheers.
Yeah, basically. Now,
Okay.
like Soggy, we're good friends with the owners now. So, well, one of the owners. So, like when we go in there, we know like all the bartenders, all the owners. We go in. My buddy Paul plays on their pool league, so we'll go in there. They'll give us the keys. We open up the thing. We don't pay for pool. We just start playing and stuff like that.
Sure.
So,
Okay,
we have a good time.
Yeah, you mentioned bachelor parties. Saturday when we were golfing, when we came back around to golf the second 9.
Yeah.
We ran into there was a bachelor party in front of us. It was 2 groups of 4. So John is recently remarried. So I was kind of teasing him. I said, John, what would you give the, we found who was getting married. And I said, John, what would you give what advice would you give to the groom? And he was going on about spending like quality time, and then he hit a really nice tee shot on that hole. And I just, what new advice would you give to a groom, Gary? Someone getting married Saturday. What would be if you could give them one piece of advice, what advice would you give them? And remember, your wife may listen to this.
She listens to these episodes now, so just listen to your wife. Just listen to your wife. Yeah. Don't make her ask you twice. There you go.
I told him, whatever she says, she's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been married almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So
I did get a text back.
I thought you were going to say you got a compliment.
I did get a text back. Someone is up at the cottage.
Oh, okay.
So of course.
Of course. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So Gary, I wanted to talk about inflation because it smacked me in the face this past weekend.
Okay.
So we go to Rosanna's for hoagies. It's a little place in Dixon City here that we get like an Italian hoagie.
Okay.
It's just good comfort food. But they sell the Wise potato chips, like the big bag for $2. For $2.
Oh, okay.
I go in Sunday. I'm looking around for the Wise potato chip bags. Not a one. Excuse me. They have Wise potato chips. It's maybe, I don't even think it's half the size. It might be a quarter of the size. It's bigger than like a little like snack bag of potato chips.
Yeah, like
next size up.
Okay.
That bag was $2.
Uh-huh.
We got you don't have to worry about this in Florida, but we pay like a gas bill to heat the house during the winter.
Mm-hmm.
But we're on a budget. So we don't pay like $700 in December when we're trying to, buy Christmas gifts. So we're on a budget over 12 months. And then apparently in July or August, it, renews. So they give you a new budget.
Yeah.
Our budget for this coming year is $70 more a month than what we were paying last year, which that's $840 more over the course of the year that we're going to be budgeted for gas. And I might have talked about this, the Whopper Junior. Did I talk about this already?
No.
Like 2 weeks ago, I went for a Whopper Junior. How much is a Whopper Junior value meal, Gary, at Burger King?
Oh, geez. Last last time I'd say $4.29.
Used to be like $4.99.
Oh, sure, I was even lower. Okay.
Okay. It was like over $10 for a Whopper Junior value meal.
It's ridiculous.
So guess who's been bringing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to lunch? Like I'm in 5th grade again.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I see it down here too. It's the same thing. It's ridiculous.
So what have you seen that's like they were talking about inflation, and I knew like inflation, but like this past weekend just kind of was like,
you finally caught up to you.
It was like, oh, it's affecting me with stuff I usually purchase.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been seeing like that's affected you?
So the last couple times when I've gone to the store, I've seen that like a lot of like the soda and stuff that we were buying, that stuff got jacked up a little bit higher. Now now I only buy it when it's buy one get one or buy two get one, but it's still like you'd go in and you get like 3 cases for like, I don't know, $9, $10. Now it's 3 cases for like 14, 15. I'm like, jeez. So yeah, I only buy it now if I see it, like if there's a BOGO on it. So, but I mean that milk went up. Our creamers that we were buying too for our coffee, that got jacked up. Even the coffee's jacked up. I was like, if that's even in the store, half the time you go to the store and half the stuff is wiped out. I was like, there's like nothing there. So it's ridiculous. Everything.
Yeah. So hopefully it gets better, but I don't know if it will.
Probably not. Probably not.
All right, we'll talk a little NFL first before we dive into something a little more controversial. How's that sound?
I gotcha.
All right. So I'm interested to hear your opinion on the NFL's suspension of Deshaun Watson. And this is why we were hoping to have Lisa Red on.
Uh-huh.
She is a Browns fan. I put that in air quotes if you're watching. So he gets 6 games for the alleged sexual misconduct, which I think it's like 23 or 24 instances of such behavior. Now, mind you, he didn't play at all last year because the Texans held him out.
Correct. Yep.
What's your take on the suspension?
So I was looking at, and I even actually found a site, and I pulled up suspensions from last year for for certain things, and even for this year. And it was just ridiculous looking at some of the stuff, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy that some of these guys are suspended for these certain little things. And then this guy who has now, like you said, he didn't play last year, but
he got paid.
But yes, exactly. And there was nothing else going on. Like, I mean, they didn't really have the thing. They just it was their decision to just kind of sit him or whatever. But like looking at some of these, like these guys here, Antonio Brown, Mike Edwards, and John Franklin, they were suspended for 3 games for conduct detrimental to the league COVID protocols. So it must have been something with
not wearing a mask or something.
Something simple like this, stupid like that. 3 games for those. A lot of these PED guys, 6 games. Which a lot of times, like some of these guys, now they always say they don't know. Oh, well, I didn't know that wasn't blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I mean, some of them might be telling the truth, hey, I didn't know this one thing was going to come up, whatever. But, well, now like Ridley with the gambling on the NFL, 17 games. See, the problem is, yes, you do play in the sport. Now, if you're caught gambling on that sport, but it was you're betting against the team you're on to lose a game or to whatever, then yes. But if you're just sitting around, you're like, I'm gonna bet on Giants and Dolphins, and you have nothing to do with those 2 teams. Nobody, I mean, you might know some of the guys, but you're not calling them and say, hey, throw this game for me so I can win some money. But 17 games for that's just that I thought was ridiculous. What was this other guy? Now, of course, his might have been, it just says PEDs. He got suspended for 17 games. Chase Harrell from, it looks like San Francisco. Now, I don't know if it was multiple times that he was
right
with PEDs, but
now one of the interesting things I read, so the arbiter who decided this, the NFL was pressing for a 1-year suspension.
Okay. Yes, I remember seeing that a lot. Yep.
And it was, I guess, a retired judge who heard the case between the NFL and Deshaun Watson. She classified this as a non-violent, I guess, sexual misconduct, which was part of her reasoning for only 6 games.
Okay, so here's one I found. Oh, where is it? Oh, damn it. Darius Geis. Domestic violence, 6 games. So now you're okay. So you're putting him, you're saying, okay, this was
domestic violence is equal to sexual non-violent misconduct.
I guess, yeah, according to whoever ran these things, but yeah. So I'm like, so either Geis should have gotten more if you're saying this was a and then I mean he's for yeah, it's
Do you remember Ray Rice when he punched his girlfriend or fiance out in the elevator? How many games did he get? Do you remember?
Do you remember what year that was?
No. It was a long time ago.
All right, hold on, let me look.
I think he only got maybe 3 or 4 games.
Oh no, they want me to go on the premium now.
So we have that. So I think both you and I are in agreement that he should have got more.
Yeah, I mean, you got 24 women coming out. Different if it was like 1 or 2 that were like, hey,
this happened.
Yeah, touched me inappropriately, during a massage or something, few months or whatever. Okay, yes, but when you got 24 of them, this is almost like Cosby. I mean, all those women saying, I mean, well, of course he didn't rape any of these women, but still, same thing. I mean, he was inappropriately doing whatever he was doing to make them feel uncomfortable. And but you have 24 of them. That's a pretty big number. Yeah.
Now, another, I guess, ruling came down regarding the Dolphins. The Dolphin.
Yes, I was going to talk about. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So apparently, Stephen Ross, their owner, had conversations with your Tom Brady and Sean Payton while they were still under contract. Brady with the Buccaneers, maybe even with the Patriots. I'm not sure of all.
Yeah, they said Buccaneers the last thing I read, but another thing said Patriots. So
I think there was 2 instances where he talked to Brady. One was when he was with the Patriots, and then again when
probably
he was with
right before he left to go to the Buccaneers.
Now, the Dolphins were also in the news last year when Brian Flores, their head coach, came out and said that he was offered money to lose games as the Dolphins head coach to improve their draft.
Get a high draft pick. Yep.
So the NFL, I guess, did their own investigation, which they're so, well qualified at doing.
Oh, yeah. And they're great at it.
They did a heck of a job with the Washington Redskins Commanders investigation.
Yep.
So they find Stephen Ross guilty, and I think it was the team vice president or whatever. So they take away their 2023 first round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
They find the owner, Stephen Ross, $1.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's suspended until like October 17th or something. It's literally like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
And the NFL found there was no evidence of throwing games. if you can believe that, Gary.
Mm-hmm. So okay, so when it comes to the, I mean, I get it could happen, I guess, but I don't see, unless the coach is going to get. Well, you said he was going to get paid or whatever, but I mean, as a coach, do you really want to be? You want your record to be affected by throwing games? I just think they stunk, and it
Would
just
you
made
lose
it.
it? Would you lose a game for another $100,000? What would you do with $100,000, Gary?
Oh well, I mean, I could do a ton of stuff with $100,000, but these guys are making.
So could Brian Flores.
Yeah, I'm well now, but beforehand he was probably making a good amount of money. But I just to throw just to screw up your own record. But see, and the thing is, the problem now is you look at this. Okay, if I do this,
But Gary, if you're 3-12, or let's say you're 3-13, no, that adds up to 16. Let's say you're 3-11.
Okay.
Okay. You have 2 games left in the old NFL season.
Yeah.
We're on the old 16 schedule. Is 3-13 going to make a difference for Brian Flores as opposed to 5-11?
So
you're still a shitty coach.
So yeah. So I get
So wouldn't you rather have an extra $200,000 in your bank account?
Yeah. Okay. If my record was garbage to begin with, and
I mean, it's not Bill Belichick throwing the AFC Championship game. It's the Giants and Dolphins in December when no one's watching, when both teams are out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So if my record's garbage to begin with, and they ask me to throw the last 2 games, and they'll give me so much money for it, okay, I would do that. But I mean, if I'm right there, if you're like 8-6 or whatever, getting close to 8-6, because then 2 games would put me back to even. I don't know if I would do that because I'm like right there, but I mean, if I haven't won a stinking game, then that just means I'm either a really bad coach or my team just really just is garbage.
I just think this highlights what is wrong with the NFL, because I've been vocal about it. I haven't really watched the NFL except for the playoffs now the last 2 years.
Okay. But
really for like 5 or 6 years now, I haven't watched any of the NFL.
I watch it every week. So,
and
the Patriots are playing.
I think the NFL is just tripping over themselves. I don't trust the NFL. I don't trust it with their suspensions. I don't trust any of the owners. I mean, the same thing that Deshaun Watson did happened to Robert Kraft.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. In a massage parlor down in, Florida.
But I mean, that was one. That wasn't 24 massage parlors and 24 different women. It was one time he went, and he's an older man, Deshaun Watson's a younger guy. I mean, he's good looking.
Don't make excuses for him.
But poor Robert Kraft, just need
Robert Kraft.
Just need a little something extra. I mean, guys.
All right. All right. Let's move on to the hot topic I have here, Gary. I hope you've heard. I sent you an email.
I did. I even have some stuff pulled up about it because I had to look up what the heck ableist meant.
Ableist.
Okay. Ableist. All right. Ableist, whatever. I pronounce things differently.
All right. So here's the news. So Beyonce is catching slack for one of her lyrics on the song, I think it's Heated.
Yeah.
Her new album, Reconnaissance.
Mm-hmm.
Gary, do you want me to read the lyrics?
Yeah,
or do you want to?
No, go ahead. Yeah, I don't have the lyrics up. I had something else up. So go ahead. I did look them up though to see what it was, like what word it was, and I got actually kind of hot after I was reading it because I was like, I'm gonna lose my shit. But go ahead.
Well, Gary, would you believe that the email I sent to myself that supposedly had the lyric in it doesn't have any of the lyric in it?
I can look it up.
So I don't know if you have it.
Beyonce lyric. All right, let's see.
And basically, what it was is she used. Well, let's go. Let's
see if it's even. Let's see if it's in the one that I pulled up because they may have already changed it. But let's see. I'm not going to sing the whole song for you because I don't know how it goes. What did they say? It was towards the. Did they say it was towards the end of the song? I mean, I don't even see the word in here.
Give me a second. Okay.
So
you ready?
Slapping and whatever. Oh, I found it now. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to read the whole section.
The verse. Yeah. The
whole verse. Like I've never discussed music before.
Yeah.
You ready, Gary?
I'm ready. Go for it.
Cool it down, 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 my pretty. Bad, bad bee, make the bad, bad glitchy. Fine, 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 fine. Liberated, living like we ain't got time. Yada, yada, ya, yada, yada, ya, ya. Yada, yada, bum, bum, ka, ka. Spazzing on that ass, spaz on that ass. Fan me quick, girl. I need my glass. How'd I do?
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I finally found it. I knew it was towards the end of that's what I thought they said it was towards the end of the song, but yes. Okay.
Okay. So I guess there is a woman who she has cerebral palsy.
Mm-hmm.
And she came out, I guess there's another artist named Lizzo who used the word spaz.
I seen that. Yep.
In a song a few months ago, maybe 2 months ago. And it's considered an ableist ableist slur.
Uh-huh. And that is described as offensive or discriminatory words, phrases, remarks, comments, or statements made towards a disabled individual or the disability community.
Right. Now, Gary, I'm sure in your career you've had training with, and it's called like people first language.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'm sure you've had training with the school, with some of the corporations you worked for. Right. I know when I was studying education at East Stroudsburg, my special education class, that's all we dealt with.
Yeah. So
where are we at this? What's going on? Is this an overreaction?
I'm so fed up with.
You're frustrated?
I'm so frustrated and fed up with everything anymore. Everything has to be so watered down. I mean, we are literally turning into the good, I guess, the old days where, we can't use anything, like we can't say anything anymore, because other than that, you're going to get blamed or yelled at by some organization, because now all of a sudden we've got 5 billion organizations out there for every little thing. I mean, yes. Okay. Fine. Certain words you don't use. Spaz, I don't see that as that always to me was a word used for like someone going crazy, not because they have cerebral palsy.
You can't use crazy either, Gary.
Well, see, and that's the problem. See, right there. People that are not all there, I guess. I don't care anymore. I'm saying what I want to say. I don't give a dang anymore about. Golly gee, I am done with this. See, that's what we're going back to. This is going to be. We're turning into
cheese and crackers, Gary.
And crackers. My
So
gosh. Oh my God. Oh, I lost you again. Hold. I can't hear you again. No volume. Frozen a little bit. I'm frozen. You're frozen. We're all frozen.
I can hear you.
There we go. Okay, I heard you now.
Okay.
No, I'm tired of all of it. It's ridiculous with all these people and
the thing is with this, I mean, I haven't heard. I listened to her album on Spotify at work, like the day it came out. Was that last Friday? Like nothing stood out to me. I couldn't tell you one song from the other.
Well, yeah.
But like just reading the lyrics that I read
has nothing to do with
making fun of or degrading anyone. Right?
No. It was just talking about going crazy on that ass.
Half the words she sings, it's fine.
Oh yeah.
Yada yada yada.
Bunch of rambling.
Right. It's like nonsensical to begin with.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of these songs are lately. But people just are too wound up. They're too uptight, and it's just getting absolutely ridiculous the way people are nowadays.
I was talking to Jill, and it's like there's just too many platforms now for people to get upset on. You can be upset on Twitter. You can be upset on YouTube. You can be upset on your own podcast. Or two, if someone's like you and they're on two podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. No, well, that's what I said. I'm like, I mean, when you're, so jumping into the sports again, Gruden. If you got to go back to his emails from like a few decades ago and find a couple things, and now you're going to bring that up now, and it's just ridiculous. So like at this point, they should just get rid of all social media then, because no one could post anything, because you post something now, 20 years from now, they'll come back and be like, oh, that was a little offensive. I think that person should be canceled, and that's it. They're done for the rest of their lives. They can't do anything else. It's ridiculous the way some of these people are and the way they act. I can't, and half of them should be canceled themselves, and they're, because I mean, I'm sure if you go back and you could find some good stuff on them. So,
and I'm not. Here's the thing too. Like when I was younger, did I say stuff that was probably wrong, mean? Yes, and I'm sure a lot of people listening and watching said things when they were younger they wouldn't now, right? And I don't.
Correct.
Like I said, at East Stroudsburg, when I was in the special ed, class, I learned some things that I did say that were maybe like not, person first.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things, like, you don't call someone handicapped, you call them, person with a physical limitation or whatever it is. Okay. But you're focusing on the person, right? And, I dealt with that with my brother, when he had strokes, he was in a wheelchair or he was on a walker, and you do look through the world with a different lens. I mean, we have a mutual friend who's in a wheelchair now, so, I'm open to that. I understand it.
Well, we keep changing stuff. So we go from one word. Okay, we don't like that word, so we changed it to this word. We don't like that one, so now we're moving it to something else. I mean, like the R word. I'm not gonna say I never did use it. I used it a lot, Now, you stop doing that. And then you started doing like special needs or handicap. Well, no, we can't do that now either. We got to make it more. Well, what do you want me to say anymore? I don't know what to say anymore. How about if I just call him Joe or Bill? I'm like, I'm done with it. I'm like, I can't. There's just so many. It's just ridiculous anymore. Now, yes, some of the words are a little rough.
Frustrating.
But
the frustrating part is like where or when does it end that you can't say anything without offending anyone?
Oh,
I'm sure someone can listen back to this and find 5 or 6 things that to be offended about.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's just
so yeah. So I disagree with it. Why is he complaining about certain things and blah blah blah? I'm like, because I have an opinion. That's my opinion. I'm allowed to have it. That's the thing. That's what the problem is with a lot of these people. They it's their opinion, and they're the ones that are correct, and that's it. So if you don't agree with them, then they don't want you to. But it's just like I can't anymore. I mean, there's two.
You will have to have.
I'm forming my own group, and that's it. I mean, I'm going to start putting things out there. I'm offended that you said cheese. I'm like, I'm tired of it. We need something new. I don't want cheese anymore. Can't say cheese. I don't like it. Oh God.
All right, let's move on. I'm reading a book, Gary.
Okay.
I'm going to show it to the people who are watching at home. It's called Quiet. It's The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. says the guy hosting a podcast.
Yeah.
That no one even listens to. But anyway.
We have our listener.
Would you consider we have a listener. Thank you, Dr. Novak. Gary, would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
Oh, I don't know. I think I could be both every once in a while, but I don't know. What do you think I am?
You're an introvert.
Am I? I could be.
Who are you talking to?
Nobody. I'm typing.
All right.
I've got my whole set. I got my whole setup here. So,
see, it's interesting. I'm reading this book. It's an interesting kind of look into introversion and how it compares to extroversion. Because I feel the same way like you. I think I'm mainly an introvert, but there's parts of me that are extroverted.
Yes. Looking them up now.
Oh, you didn't know should I define them for you, Gary?
No, I did. The problem is I never know which one's which. So that's my thing.
Oh.
But yes, I am an introvert until I start drinking.
Now that
until I start drinking, then I become an extrovert. So yes, I am a little bit of both. So like I said, I'm a little bit of both.
Well, that's because drinking lowers your inhibitions,
and you're just ready to go. That's when I talk the most.
But I would say you're mainly an introvert.
Yes, I will say that too.
But you're also a hell of a newscaster.
I am.
That's a segue, Gary.
I know.
That means you gotta get on your computer there.
I'm moving. Oh.
Because it is now time for Gary's News of the Weird.
Yes, sorry, bubber. So I have a couple of stories all out of Florida. What else is new? So let's go with.
I couldn't hear you, so I didn't know what you were saying.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Now I can, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I said the stories I have are out of Florida.
That's a shock.
I know, isn't it? So
they're not about a Florida man, are they?
No, actually, I didn't have one there, but I do have one where it was an alligator with knife in head found swimming in Florida pond. So a gator spotted in Deltona Pond. Wildlife officials euthanize animal. So an alligator was recently euthanized after it was found swimming in a Volusia County pond with a knife stuck in its head. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission said photos of the gator were posted to social media, prompting an investigation. The social media post said several people spotted the gator in pond behind a Subway restaurant on Providence Boulevard off Doyle Road in Delton. FWC officers captured the gator over the weekend and euthanized it because of its injuries. It's not known who stabbed the gator in the head. So let me go over here and I'll share a little screen so we can see the photo. And there it is. Big
I don't see it yet.
Oh.
Oh.
Did you see it? Yeah. So
that's a big knife.
That's almost looks like a samurai sword. I'm like surprised the thing was still alive.
It does. Seriously.
I was like, what the hell is going on?
And how tall was the alligator?
It didn't say.
5 foot longs?
It didn't. If I put, I see what you did there.
That's a Subway joke.
I like that. I see. So let's see. Then the other one I have. Oh, well, I do have a Florida man.
There you go, Gary.
I do have a Florida man story.
What did the Florida man do this week?
Florida man suspected of inhaling nitrous oxide from whipped cream dispenser pleads guilty in fatal crash.
Ooh.
Florida man suspected of inhaling nitrous oxide from a whipped cream dispenser before causing a fatal crash has pleaded guilty to vehicular homicide. Tucker Hoppengardner, 29, also admitted Wednesday to a charge of unlawful distribution of nitrous oxide, the Tampa Bay Times reported. The July 1st, 2020 crash killed Jill Lanuszak, 53. Investigators said Hoppengardner was speeding in rush hour traffic near Tampa when he veered into an oncoming lane and crashed into Jill's Kia. On the passenger side floorboard of his SUV, investigators found a black commercial-grade whipped cream dispenser, which uses nitrous oxide canisters as propellant, several spent canisters, and a box marked XXX Platinum 50 triple refined cream chargers. None of the law enforcement officers worked the crash, said Humminger appeared to be under the influence of a substance, but he did appear spaced out, according to the search warrant application. A blood test taken after the crash.
Now, is that offensive to astronauts?
I probably. It'll probably be something. So a blood test taken after the crash detected marijuana, but yielded no other substances. Though the evidence was thin, investigators alleged that Hoppengardner inhaled the gas and possibly went unconscious just before the crash.
Now, Gary, I know there were kids in my one high school, not the high school I went to with you. I don't know if they did it there or not.
Okay.
But one of the other high schools I went to, I know those kids did whippets. That's what they're called, right? Whippets.
Yep.
And I know people in college, not naming any names, but I know they did whippets. I don't even know. I still to this day don't know how you did that, like how they did that.
I'm assuming it's got to be when it's empty and there's nothing left in it and it's just the air still in. I don't know, because other than that, like whenever I always take the whipped cream cans and spray the stuff in there, but I've never gotten
when it has whipped cream in it.
Whipped cream. So I'm assuming they have to be empty, and then it's just whatever's still left. But then usually towards the end of the can, there's nothing. Even when you're spraying, there's like nothing coming out. So I have no idea how they do it either. I really don't. It's So
like I was never present when people did it. I know they did it, but I was never there when they did it.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone do it, so.
And I just don't know if I'm not like technical enough to comprehend how it's done.
Yeah,
to me, it's too much. It's too much work.
Yeah,
have a beer.
have beer, find someone that has a joint, do that. I mean, but yeah, just sitting there sucking whipped cream down. Go ahead.
But do you have another story?
No, I'm done.
That it?
That's it. So let me.
Okay, I have one more question before you start the music. Though.
Oh yeah, go for it.
How scary is it to drive in Florida?
Depends on.
I almost feel like I would be you're taking your life in your hands every time you pull out of your driveway.
Yes. So
or is that just me?
Let's see. I've been here 20. You're not 20. Since 2004. So it's been a few years.
16 years.
Yeah, 16 years. So I gotten used to it, but it depends on where you're at. There's certain areas that get a little crazy. It depends on where you're driving. But yes, there are a lot of people that they're just completely out of it. They don't know what they're doing.
They just don't give a.
They don't know how to drive in rain. Like you see them all of a sudden they're stopped, or they're driving so slow on the highway, or their high beams are. I'm like, they're driving like if there was a blizzard coming, and I'm like, it's rain. You're not gonna. Now it gets worse when you have those snowbirds that come down, and then traffic's just doubled, because now you got all these people from Canada that are down here driving around, and they're not used to the traffic down here, so then they're like kind of just in the way. So, but it's you do kind of get used to it, because like coming from where up there where you live and where I lived for how many years, everything was a 1-lane road. The only time you hit 2 lanes was when you're on a highway, where everything down here is the only time you're on a 1-lane road is when you're driving in your development. Other than that, everything's 3-4 lanes. It's yeah. So it's crazy down here. It really is.
Okay. And that is Gary's News of the Weird. All right. Gary, we have a special birthday coming up this week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Someone's celebrating a birthday Monday, I believe.
Oh, next Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of candles on that cake.
Just a few.
Any special plans for your birthday on Monday?
Yeah, I'm going to be
when does the party start? Thursday?
Well, I don't know if we're doing anything this weekend or not. I know. Well, Monday I will be up by school. It's our orientation day for the kids. So
you got to go to work on your birthday?
Basically, yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I have to go. I lost you. Hold on. There you
go. I'm still here.
I just had it.
All right.
But yes, no, I have to. Oh, why did I do that? I have to. Yeah, I have to go into school for. It's not till later. I know we have. We had some friends that just called us the other day, or I guess they got a babysitter. So.
Good for them.
They're gonna well, they wanted to go out with us next weekend. So I'll be probably doing something next weekend, really, not this weekend. Okay. So
all right. This weekend I'll be participating in the Chris Lewis Memorial Golf Tournament.
Yes.
Our classmate Chris, who passed away due to brain cancer a few years ago. They hold his wife and son and his family hold a golf tournament every year. I think this is the 7th annual. Last year was the first year I golfed in it. All the proceeds go to scholarships for students at Penn State, Scranton, and Marywood, where Chris was a student and then worked in admissions offices both in Marywood and Penn State. So that'll be Saturday at Pine Hills.
Nice. Yeah, I need to.
You need to get up here for that, Gary.
I think I might set something up for next year. So hopefully they'll still have it next year, because I will make it a point to.
Okay, and you're golfing on my team next year.
Okay, I'm ready.
Real quick, give me a funny Chris Lewis story. Chris Lewis memory.
Oh my goodness, so many. Because I mean, when I moved back home,
I know I'm putting you on the spot.
I know when I moved back home from Penn State, he was my guy. The two of us, we went out every night, almost every weekend. We were out. It was, I mean, we drank so much, the two of us. Tinks, Flashback. I mean, we were everywhere. We went to Hiles. I mean, any place that was open, we would hit up and we would just go. One story is, so Tinks, we'd go there all the time, and the guy that always sat at the door to check your IDs and everything, Chris, he knew the guy. So like we'd walk in, he'd, hey Kurt, whatever, blah blah blah. Walk in, I'd walk in. He's like, hey, I just walk, no IDs, nothing, just stroll right. I mean, we were of age at the time, but it was just funny just going out with him all the time. Like he kind of reminds me of my friend Paul down here, where he just knew everyone. Anywhere we went, he always knew someone. And then me and him even in high school at the time when he got his license, and then we would just drive around that Saturn all over the place and just drive and drive and drive. And yeah, so he was my.
I remember it was senior year in high school. You and I were at the complex playing tennis.
Okay.
And all of a sudden we just hear this, yeah, bam, 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 bam. And your back was to like the road, and you just go, that's Lewis. And then you just see the blue Saturn coming down the road with Lewis.
Oh yeah. He was great.
Yeah. All right. So I'll be playing in that on Saturday. I'll let you know next week. I'll have an update of what happened.
All right.
And I guess that'll be all for this week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the BrianLennonShow.substack.com. Subscribe to our YouTube page. We only have 3 subscribers, Gary, and that's me, you, and someone else.
What?
So we need more subscribers on the YouTube page. Have a great weekend. Happy birthday to Gary. And we will see you next Wednesday.
Tuesday. Well,
we record on Tuesday.
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
right.
Published
I'll see you next Tuesday. Everyone else will hear us on Wednesday. There we go.
What did you just call me?